Coming to us from Lakeio, Greece, it's the Aqua Barons with their brand new album. This is the song Land of the Great Ghoul. It comes from their album Back on Track with the Aqua Barons. You can find out more about them at theaquabarons.bandcamp.com. Check them out. Let them know that you heard about them here on the podcast devoted to the classic and sometimes not so classic genre cinema of yesteryear. This is Bride of Monster Kid Radio. My name's Derek M. Cook, the writer, host, and producer of this here show, and I want to say a special thank you to the Aqua Barons and congratulations on getting this album out. This is their third full-length album. It's super cool. I had a real hard time choosing which song to play on this week's episode because I really like all the tracks on here. Theme of Exodus is pretty cool. Daydreamer Blues is pretty cool. A Shadow in the Mist is pretty cool. But this week it's Land of the Great Ghoul, and you'll hear it in its entirety at the end of this episode of the podcast. I'm excited this week because we're having a Monster Kid Radio irregular join us. You heard her not too long ago when she and Jeff went to the Joy Cinema last month, and now she's here this week with a kind of sort of zombie movie. It's Dominique Lamssies, and we're going to talk about the movie. Okay, you ready? Big breath. The incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed up zombies. Haven't talked about this one on this show before, but I have talked about it in the past on other podcasts, and, well, we're going to talk about that and a few other things and just catch up with Dominique here in a little bit. Of course, it would not be an episode of Bride of Monster Kid Radio without Mark Matzke's Beta Capsule review, and I'm so excited that he's not just doing the review of Ultraman Taro and all things Ultraman here on our show, but he's now doing his own show again as well. The Monster Study Group podcast is back. He launched it this past Friday on Black Friday, where he talked about the movie Black Friday as part of the Unseen Cinema series that he just launched on his podcast. Go check it out. Seriously, Mark does really good work, and I'm excited that he is back in the podosphere with his own show. Just don't get so big and popular over there that you don't hang out with us over here on Bride of Monster Kid Radio anymore, okay? Because really, I mean, we'd miss you. But I'd still listen to your show. Anyway, go check that out. This week, though, here on this show, we are talking about Ultraman Taro with the Beta Capsule review. We've got Dominique coming up with the, okay, big breath, incredibly strange creatures that stopped living and became mixed up zombies. And that's all coming up right now.
Would you sign your own death certificate? You must before you witness the electrifying Night of the Living Dead and Blood and Black Lace. You must free the theater from responsibility should your heart stop. Paralyzed in fright from the 12 deadly hours of the Night of the Living Dead, where strange, incredulous molecular mutation incites cadavers to arise live from their coffins to devour all human flesh. And the House of Horror, the House of Blood and Black Lace, a chic French fashion salon where 7 breathtaking models will find their hideous, diabolical end. Night of the Living Dead, together with Blood and Black Lace, a terrifying evening with the undead.
Night has fallen, and the time has come to experience terror at Collinwood, a podcast dedicated to the iconic Gothic television series Dark Shadows. Terror at Collinwood explores the hidden secrets within the sinister walls of the Collins estate. Hosted by 2-time Rondo Award-winning television horror hostess Penny Dreadful, the podcast features interviews and in-depth discussions with fans and creators as they examine the cursed characters and supernatural storylines of that creepy classic dark shadows. Beware the night and the restless dead who wail on Widow's Hill, and prepare yourself for terror at Collinwood, a Dark Shadows podcast. Available at terroratcollinwood.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, Seance, The I Ching, or wherever you get your scary podcasts.
Live from the Land of Light in Nebula M78, home of the mighty Ultra Heroes, it's Monster Kid Radio's Beta Capsule Review. Ultraman Taro, Episode 13, The Monster's Cavity Aches. Original air date, June 29th, 1973. The members of ZAT think they're participating in a training drill. Unbeknownst to them, however, a torpedo launched by Kotaro agitates Kaiju Sheltar, rousing it from the ocean floor. The monster comes ashore, trying to dislodge the torpedo from its teeth, and Kotaro attempts an extraction of the object using the Sky Whale jet. Unfortunately, he pulls a kaiju tooth instead, enraging Sheltar, who begins breathing fire, forcing ZAT to attack. Sheltar evades them by running toward the town of Aoshima in a pain-induced rampage. Sadly, ZAT member Nambara's mother lives in Aoshima and is in the direct path of Sheltar's destruction. The Monster's Cavity Aches is a light-hearted and sentimental story focusing on Nambara's close relationship with his mother and leaning into non-serious monster action. That does not mean the special effects suffer. On the contrary, their quality remains incredibly high, with more beautiful composite work and an intense amount of detail in the miniature set of Aoshima. It's not until the preview of next week's episode that one realizes the Shiratori siblings are absent from episode 13, but the decision to flesh out the normally buffoonish character of Nambara is a wise one, giving him more depth and creating an emotional moment for Kotaro/Taro to remember and salute, Mother of Ultra. For Bride of Monster Kid Radio's Beta Capsule Review, this is Mark Matzke reporting.
Rev it up.
Action you've never seen races across your screen as you thrill to a new dimension in picture making. Carnival of Souls. This is the shocking story of a who crawled from the river to race through a nightmare, walking a tightrope between heaven and hell. From the unreal, she crashes through to reality. But try as she will to lead a normal life, she is torn from her goal. There's no privacy in a life she's ever watched, tormented. Either it's her neighbor, desirous of her physically, watching her with his leering eye, or it's the evil eye of the man who taunts her, the man who wants her. From the bottom of the river they come. They reach for her. They demand that she dance with them at the Carnival of Souls. She is a girl-driven man by the relentless forces of the beyond. He will not relent as he comes for her again and again. She whirls between the real and the unreal, trying to cling to life.
I like being with you, really I do. I don't want to be alone tonight. I want to be near you.
Honey, you don't want to go in there all by yourself, do you?
But she must watch herself in death. She must dance at the Carnival of Souls held just for her. for they have come for her for the last time, claiming her as one of their own. Carnival of Souls arouses such emotion that the management has been forced to state positively no refunds. Carnival of Souls is the shocker of all time, guaranteed to sweep you into a new dimension of picture making. You can't afford to miss Carnival of Souls.
It's coming. The world's craziest fun and fright show, the Lemon Grove Kids Meet the Monsters. It's so scary, so crazy, we dare you to see it. We dare you to see the Lemon Grove Kids Meet the Monsters. The screen's funniest and wildest teenagers in the craziest fun and fright show you've ever seen. You'll see weird and frightening movie monsters, not only on the screen, but in the audience, alive and in person. See the horrifying mad mummy come to life and go into the audience to get you. We warn you, don't come if you're chicken. This show is not for sissies. If you're not afraid, be sure to see the world's craziest fun and fright show, the Lemon Grove Kids Meet the Monsters. 1,001 laughs, thrills, and chills. In widescreen and Eastman color.
I am Dracula, and I bid you welcome to the podcast devoted to the classic, and sometimes not so classic, genre cinema of yesteryear. And I offer you this warning. Sometimes Derek and his guests get excited, and they may spoil a movie or two. You know how excited monster kids can get sometimes. If Monster Kid Radio spoils a movie for you, do not come whining to me. I cannot stand whines.
All right, listeners, I was really surprised when this week's guest wanted to talk about this movie. It's not something that I would have picked for her or pegged her as being a fan of, but then I have to remember that there are some movies that she and I have kind of gone back and forth about in the past, that Creeping Terror, that sometimes, you know, we all have the movies that we love. I'm actually glad we got to talk about it. I'm talking about Dominique Lamssies, and I'm talking about, you know what, I'm going to let you say the name of the movie.
The incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed up zombies. And frankly, the fact that I like this movie is very on brand for me. And the fact that I came to you and said, I want to talk about the Mesa of Lost Women should prove that.
That's true. That's true. It is on brand. You're right. There's just not a lot of huggable monsters in this so that's kind of where I was confused.
This is true. I actually wouldn't hug anybody in this movie at all, honestly.
It's a little sleazy.
It is very sleazy.
Yeah. Dennis Steckler, the director, the filmmaker, and the star, as Cash Flag, did dabble in the exploitation side of things, especially later in his career when he moved to Vegas. Really kind of got into the exploitation side of things, but you can see those tendencies in movies like this. I haven't seen a lot of his films. Rat Fink Kabooboo, I think, is the one that stands out for me, which is just a weird flick. But this one is one that I talked about on Mail Order Zombie many, many, many moons ago when I was a podcaster known as Brother D. I reviewed it on episode 143 of that podcast and gave it a rating of 3 headshots out of 5. I think I would still stand by that today. But I'm curious how you got involved with this movie, attached to this movie. How did it find you?
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
MST3K?
Yeah, this was an MST3K movie for me. There's a handful of movies that even in Mystery Science Theater, I don't like watching. And I am like diehard, hardcore Mystery Science Theater fan. I've seen literally every episode. I still watch it every day. I can't sleep at night if I don't watch a little bit right before going to bed. Like that, I'm hardcore Mystery Science Theater fan. The Manos, the Hands of Fate. We've talked about Manos, the Hands of Fate before. I can't do Manos even in Mystery Science Theater. Like Kitten with a Whip, The Devil Doll. I can't do those episodes. And for a long time, The Incredibly Strange Creatures was actually one of them. This movie is Fibesian. Fibesian. Do you remember my definition of Fibesian? from The Abominable Dr. Phibes. Basically, a movie goes so far going in one direction that it becomes its opposite. When it's so horrific, it becomes funny. It's Phibesian.
Okay.
Manos, The Hands of Fate, it's so bad, it becomes disturbing. And The Incredibly Strange Creatures is kind of the same way. It's so bad and it's so poorly made that it accidentally hits all the nerves and becomes really unsettling. And for a while, still every once in a while, last night, I had really weird dreams. Because I sat and watched it and prepped for this. And I had really weird dreams last night. Honestly, it's mostly the dance sequences that weird me out. And the performances. And I got curious and I'm like, why? So I went into analysis mode and I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit, I'm going to watch this movie straight. I'm going to figure this out. Those people who sit and watch true crime movies because they're like, I want to understand why people are like this. And I want to get to the nitty gritty of a screwed up brain. This movie is my version of that. I want to understand the brain that created this movie because this movie is just, whoa. So I sat and I watched it and I got completely obsessed with it. I went 5D and I went the complete other direction and now I'm like, oh my God, this movie. Oh my God, this movie. And here we are.
This one's weird. And that's an understatement for sure. I think it's one that I discovered doing the zombie podcast because the title just grabs you, right? They say it's the longest title ever. I don't know if I go that far. I think there's a couple of AIP, quote unquote, classics that, like the Viking Women Saga, whatever thing, has a slightly longer title, but still, it's got a title that just grabs you. And I remember, let me take that back. I didn't remember that it took so long for any real traditional zombie action to even show up. And even then, it's just kind of touching the surface.
Yeah.
This zombie element is more of a mesmerism kind of thing. Kind of, depending on how effective you think it is in the film.
Well, it's a little voodoo-esque. It's like a corruption of the voodoo zombie.
It's bizarre. I was taken this time around because I also watched it. Actually, I watched half of it last night and then I just kept falling asleep. So I was like, I'm just going to finish it tomorrow morning. So I watched the rest of it over breakfast. Weird choice. And there's an off-putting element to it, but it's not any of the monster stuff. Like you said, it's like the dance numbers, the relationships kind of behind the scenes of the action. It's just kind of off-putting and disturbing. And I just realized that one of the co-writers was the co-writer of The Creeping Terror. And now it all makes sense.
And actually, the studio they shot The Creeping Terror in too.
Did they really?
Yep. You see, the circle closes.
It all makes sense.
It all makes sense.
Robert Silliphant was the writer that I'm talking about. But there's just a disturbingness to it, a sleaziness to it. And I don't know if that's just something that Steckler was drawn to. I don't know if it was something that he enjoyed or he thought that would sell. I don't know enough about the man to really say.
For me, it's the accidentalness of the movie because I dug around and looked at the people in the movie, like the actors, and they only had one or two other roles in his movies, which means essentially he's using people that he knows. And one of the things I think that weirded me out, and I think that weirds some people out, is the fact that these are not actors. We're discussing the skeeviness of this and the sleaziness. This is just normal people who happen to have a camera and $20. This is not, honestly, Jerry in the movie, I have relatives like that. I know that guy. Harold, I know that guy. I know that girl. These are all normal people. And I think that kind of weirds us out when we look at this and be all I know these people. I can relate to this. They're not polished Hollywood actors that I can have that veil of, no, they're not real. No, I know those people. I've probably seen them downtown somewhere. I think that adds to the skeeviness because there's no separation between us and the people in this movie. It's kind of like Coleman Francis. When Coleman Francis movies, it's no, those are just people.
There isn't that gloss. You're right. It's kind of how I feel about Manos though too, but I think it works for Manos.
See, I think it works for monos too, but I don't enjoy it because it works.
Okay.
That's the difference.
Okay.
In this one, I can actually look at it and say, oh my God. In Manus, it's like, no, make it stop.
Fair enough. Really, when it came to the cast, I'm pretty sure Steckler cast himself just due to budgetary reasons in everything. Cash Flag being the lead actor in almost every one of his movies. And I've talked to independent filmmakers about this, Josh Kennedy in particular. I can remember him telling me flat out the main reason he's always the lead or he's always one of the main characters in his movies is because he can schedule himself easier than scheduling somebody else. And as somebody who thought he'd be a filmmaker when he grew up, same thing. I'd cast myself in so many things because I thought it would be easier to just schedule myself and go. So I'm sure that's why Steckler was in front of the camera.
Yeah. I would imagine. He might have also just been one of those people who was just like, I want to make films for me. He might have just never thought he was going to be famous, which there's nothing wrong with that, but maybe it was both.
Yeah, true. I did not realize that they were the same person when I first discovered his movies. It took watching, I think, an episode of The Incredibly Strange Film Show to realize they were the same guy. Were you aware the first time you saw this? Is that something that MST3K mentioned?
I think they mentioned it. I think it was one of the jokes.
Okay.
So I remember, I don't think it was ever explicitly, oh yes, it's the same guy, but I kind of oh yeah, that's him. Just that knowledge in the back of your head. There's
so many shots too of him just wandering around, confused, after having been mesmerized or hypnotized or voodooized or whatever you want to say. He's just kind of wandering around town. So I'm sure he just gave the camera to somebody and said, hey, shoot me for a little while, which again, scheduling, budget, easier.
Exactly.
And as far as some of the other performers in the movie, the lead actress was going to be somebody else altogether, but kind of bailed when it came time to shoot. So he just picked somebody out of the dance number to be the lead. So I mean, it's just hey, you're the lead actress now.
Yeah. Guerrilla filmmaking, you do what you gotta.
Yeah, you do what you gotta do. They shot all the film numbers or the musical numbers in one day. It kind of shows.
What makes me sad is that some of those were apparently actually professional dancers. It's Jesus, he didn't know any good dancers at all. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were saying something.
And I was going to say, I didn't watch the MST3K version of this, but I did watch an introduction that Joe Bob Briggs did of this at one point, and he points out, and I'm going to agree with him, it is the least funny stand-up comedian ever as the MC. So hard to watch, and you just kind of, when you're watching a performer fail, I don't laugh at that person. I feel really bad and cringe. And I'm just cringing, dying inside for the guy who played the MC with those jokes that he had to deliver in those sequences. And I just, dude, Steckler, we could have done better, man.
See, I'm kind of the opposite because I'm watching him and I'm oh, baby, you're trying so hard. You did so good. I know they were crappy jokes, but he's really in earnest. He's really trying. And I'm oh, baby, you did so good.
But my wife did say, now she's really something. If I didn't stop drinking, she was going to leave me. Boy, I'm sure going to miss her.
You did so good, sweetie. I'm gonna encourage. He's trying.
Okay. Fair enough. What did you think of the performance of the mole on Madame Estrella's face?
The version I watched last night was super cleared up. It was actually a really nice print. It's a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
It is literally a little round Band-Aid. I hadn't realized that before. I feel wasn't that one of the jokes in the history of the Mel Brooks' A History of the World? When they did the French Revolution section and one of the characters had the mole that kept moving around the face?
It might have been.
It might have been, yeah.
Yeah. I think that sometimes when you really clean these movies up, you start to reveal the seams a little too much. And there's a couple of shots, especially during Jerry's dreams or nightmare sequence, where you have just a shot of Estrella in the center of the screen and the whirling background or whatever. And you can tell this is just something that got stuck to her face. It's not a very good makeup job. Maybe the film would have benefited from not being cleaned up at that point. You know, I'm also the guy who's like, hey, I want to see a Blu-ray of Manos, so I don't know.
Well, it's one of those things you don't know you don't want it until it happens. Like, I got the super duper cleaned up version of the Batman 66 show, and the first episode with the Joker, Cesar Romero's mustache looks so bad cleaned up. It's so bad.
What I love about that, and I mean, I've talked about this. I work at the Lego Group. People know that. It's a retired set now, but I have it here. It's the Batmobile from the 66 TV show, the smaller one. And it comes with a couple of minifigures, one being Batman, one being Joker. And the Joker minifigure, they put lines on his lip, on his upper lip, to reflect that, yes, he did have a mustache.
It's amazing.
I love that so much. It's like, I'm never selling this set because of that reason. It's just Joker with a mustache. It's great. It took a very long time and you know what? We haven't even talked about the story. You know, I feel like this is one that I don't want to go beat by beat because there's not a huge deep plot here. Jerry's a guy. He's got a girlfriend. He's got a best friend. They go to the carnival. He gets mesmerized by a striptease act and gets hypnotized to do things. Kill people, I guess. In a sweatshirt hoodie that is too short and tight for him. And I'm aware of that because I'm a taller guy. It takes a lot for me to find something that's going to fit my arms, so I get it.
And this is something that this gypsy regularly does, by the way.
Yeah.
Not having locks on the door. If you're going to have a closet full of zombies, you need to put locks on your door. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's really it. I mean, he kills some people. He gets away with it.
Yeah, at her command.
At her command. He tries to kill his girlfriend, who is still his girlfriend, despite the fact that he kind of blew her off to go to the striptease.
Okay, let's back up. Why is she dating him at all? From the very beginning, it's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I have no idea. I tried to justify it in my head. There's the whole, the parents don't like him thing. He's got no future. Was it she's kind of spiting the parents? I don't know. I don't know what the connection was there. But I felt no chemistry. I also felt no chemistry between him and his best friend. Like I said, it's just somebody who was there. I have $20. Hey, let's make a movie. You know,
actually, I think they were okay together because they were both kind of slimy losers. So they just kind of fit together.
Okay.
Honestly, I didn't have a problem with that. But yeah, her and him were just like, but
there was nothing. Yeah, no chemistry at all. I don't understand why she stayed with him after the striptease incident. Relationship is different, man. I don't know.
It did. Women are weird. I'm going to say it. You know what? No, we get weird ideas in our head because patriarchy, especially back in the 60s, we think we got to have a boyfriend. So we put up with a lot. I mean, guys do too.
I got nothing to add to that.
I don't know. I do. Okay. I mean,
other than dudes do weird things too. So
yeah, people are weird.
Yeah. We did get a lot of footage of them at the carnival, at the sideshows, a lot of stock footage, really kind of padded this movie out, including the musical numbers. Would the movie have worked without the musical numbers, you think?
Yeah, it would have.
We didn't need
There was no reason for them. Outside of like Carmelita striptease, which I have thoughts and feelings about that. We can discuss that later. Outside of Carmelita striptease, none of it was necessary.
Yeah, it was just filler.
It was filler. It really was.
Don't know.
Because the movie would have been in about 40 minutes if you took that out?
That's true. And the ads for this, the trailers for this promoted as like the world's first musical horror zombie, whatever. I don't know if that's true, but they didn't really add anything to it. To call this a musical is really kind of a misnomer and misleading.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. What is it about Carmelita striptease that you have feelings about?
Okay, so basically it seems like the whole structure they had going on was a burlesque show.
Yeah.
So for anyone who may not know, a burlesque show is there's kind of two different varieties. An old school turn of the century burlesque was actually satire and parody. Yep. And it's sort of transformed into a variety show. So the one in this movie is more of the variety show. So there was dancing, there was singing. They would do little sketches and comedy stuff sometimes. And there was stripping. By the 50s and 60s, there was always stripper acts. Now the dancing, because like I'm a fan of dancing. I like to watch all kinds of dancing. And I took this is gonna sound like I'm being pretentious. Like, oh, I took a couple years of belly dancing lessons and I won some flamenco, so I know all about dancing. I really don't. But I know enough to know that what they are doing sucks.
Yeah, it wasn't
I can look at it and I can say the moves that were planned, the choreography was deliberately toned down because none of those women could actually dance. So there were several moves that were designed to look impressive that actually were not, and they were badly executed, so they looked even worse. For Carmelita's striptease, in the 40s and the 50s, burlesque dancers, the striptease dancers, actually followed a pretty like solid formula. Like you can look up, if you look up like Betty Page, burlesque dances. One of my personal favorites is Tempest Storm. She was really good. You can see, because it's always, in the 40s and 50s, it was about titillation. So you wouldn't actually see anything, like at the end of the dance when Carmelita wraps herself up in the curtain and then takes off the bra. That was a regular thing. The problem was with Carmelita's dance is that you were actually expected to be a dancer. Burlesque striptease was dancing. You had to have dance moves. Your body had to move fluidly. She was walking back and forth in a very herky-jerky way, and then she would stop, take something off, and then start moving again. A real burlesque dancer with any kind of talent would work that into the performance. Because I saw that, and the first thing that struck me was her transitions between movements suck. Which means she's not a good dancer. She has no training. Because any good burlesque dancer would know how to turn and grab the curtain to cover herself while looking dramatic and looking titillating. And that actually ended up, between the first time I saw it on Mystery Science Theater and now that I've like watched some burlesque and learned some dance lessons, like it really bothers me now. Because it feels really cheap. Because I know, he knew some actual burlesque dancers. And it might be that they wanted more money than he could pay. That is very possible. Because a good burlesque dancer then and now demands money. Because they're good. You can still go see burlesque shows. Burlesque dancers are amazing. And I don't know, it feels just lazy. And it's like, she could have tried. She could have gone like at home and worked out a little choreography or worked with somebody or something. And it actively bothers me now. Which is a stupid thing to worry about in a movie like this, but it really bothers me.
Well, considering they shot all that stuff in a day,
Yeah.
probably didn't have the time or the freedom or the inclination to practice, rehearse.
Which is mostly what it is, yeah. But.
Yeah. After Jerry goes on that's not really a killing spree. He kills a couple people. He tries to strangle his girlfriend, runs off, goes back to Madame Estrella, and the zombies show up. Apparently, Madame Estrella has been collecting them, and they get loose.
Yeah.
And they look like the creep mask from like old like Famous Monsters of Film magazine or Scary Monsters magazine. A lot of them look like that complete over-the-head mask with like a bulging eye, that sort of thing. The movie poster looks really good, actually. I think if the zombies looked like that, that'd be cool. But the main monster on the movie poster looks to be more of a combination of a zombie and, was it Ortega? The assistant character, the Igor to Madame Estrella. I don't have a problem with those types of zombies. I actually think it was kind of charming. I'd have action figures of those. I'd put that on a t-shirt. I thought they were kind of cool looking. But the zombies show up, they get out, but really the story is Jerry running from the cops and his girlfriend and his friend and the guy that was flipping burgers on the grill and the police. I don't know if the rules were different in 1964, but if somebody is running away from you, I don't think as a cop you're supposed to shoot them.
Because I think like Miranda and stuff wasn't until about this time. It might have been like 64, 65.
Okay.
So, I mean, back then it might,
Yeah.
maybe they have more leeway.
I don't know what the rules were, the laws were in LA, which
I
is
mean,
where they
it's still
shot
not
it.
cool, but,
Yeah, not cool. I mean, the guy's lots of stuff on the beach. And it wasn't just him setting the camera up on a tripod and running. He had somebody behind the camera. And we can talk about the behind the camera stuff actually real quick, because the people behind the camera, some of them would go on to do amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
The cinematographer, the people running the camera on this, I mean, come on. We got, is it Academy Award level talent here?
Yep, it is.
Yeah. Which is pretty impressive. I can't find a name.
And there was Laszlo Kovacs.
That's the name.
Was involved.
That's the name.
And there was another guy who wrote like the textbook for cinematography that everybody still uses today, that he was involved in the photography of this movie. So, yeah. And the Madison, the Flippin' Burgers guy, he was also the lighting guy on this movie, and he was the gaffer for 2 of the Indiana Jones movies.
Really?
Yep. I want to say Last Crusade. I can't remember the other one. But yeah,
he was Dune. Nope. Just put him up. Yeah. So Pat Kirkwood worked on some Spielberg stuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's in this movie.
He flips burgers and looks concerned and speaks very softly.
Yeah. He looked really familiar to me, actually. And I know that I've not seen him in anything else, but he still looked like somebody out of central casting if you were making a 1960s monster movie. Not that central casting was really a thing at that point, but he just has the look.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jerry's running down the beach trying to get away from everybody, saying, leave me alone, get away, get away. Lots of shots of one person running, cut to another person running, cut to another person running, cut to the cop running. And even though he gets far away from everybody and climbs on top of a cliff and everything, the cop shoots him down to get him down. And he falls into the water, but that's not good enough. We're going to pull him out of the water so he can have his death scene on the beach with everybody concerned around him. Cue the music, end credits. That's it. You know, it was a pleasant expenditure of time. I enjoyed watching it. And I'll go with the Fibesian vibe with you, that I think it tries so hard it kind of accidentally turns into something that's charming in a weird way.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, again, it's the accidents, because, like, I can't believe I'm actually going to say this, but, like, there's a Carnival of Souls thing to this movie, especially in the sound. Because, in Carnival of Souls, the sound is, like, ever so slightly off, and that throws you off. And in this one, the sound is, like, really off. And I don't know if it was deliberate or accidental, because there's a lot of, like, sound effects of people clapping, and he shows us the audience and nobody's clapping. Or lines will be muffled in a weird way, or they'll be slightly out of sync, and it's disarming. And it's very much one of those things that might just be accidental, because he couldn't get it synced right or something like that. But it feeds the overall, this is not right, that's going on with this movie.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was not live sound shot for this.
Actually, yeah.
Probably
not.
I would not be surprised to learn that they decided to do it all in post, a la Manos.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of thing. But yeah, the sound does kind of accidentally add a weird, I'll say nightmarish, even though it's not like your traditional nightmare, because it's more weird than scary. But it's got this nightmarish quality that it accidentally, like I said, it's an accident. Lots of happy accidents go into this movie.
Yeah.
I think the way the stabbing was shot, there are some really cool shots in that. That's actually a really effective sequence. I don't know if that was planned or if it was just a bunch of happy accidents, but the way the shadows are used, actually with the shadows, I'd say that was probably planned, considering the people that were involved with cinematography. But the way the stabbing is shot and staged, it looked really good. It's a great sequence for me.
And actually, because rewatching it last night, it occurred to me that, like, I actually think this movie might get a little bit of a bum rap. Because if you really think about it, we talk about how trash this is and how it doesn't make sense and how it's weird. If you set this in Paris, people would say it was Grand Guignol and say it was genius. You set it in Rome, people could say it's giallo. This is basically an accidental giallo. Especially the way, because you mentioned the way the kills are shot, and like the ending when Carmelita gets strangled, you add a little bit of perviness to the way the camera moves in that would have been a straight up giallo kill.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like when Dario Argento does it, we think it's okay. When this guy does it, we call it trash.
And I wonder, like I said, maybe Steckler's film diet consisted of a lot of those types of movies, and he was just...
Well, this is 64, though.
That's
There weren't really those kind of movies yet.
That's true.
Because I think this was like, it was either the same year or right around Blood and Black Lace, which we probably wouldn't have seen at that point because it was just new.
Yeah. I know that there's a commentary track with Joe Bob Briggs, and I think Ray Dennis Steckler himself. I have not seen or heard that. I'd like to go back and check it out. I know that there was a big box set of Ray Dennis Steckler movies that was released a little bit ago that I didn't get my hands on. A little pricey for me. Plus, it's not like I was a diehard, Steckler fan. So, like, I really like Rat Finka Boo Boo because that's also an accidental kind of thing that happened. Partly because halfway through they decided, hey, let's add superheroes to this. And it's got the best line ever.
Remember, Boo Boo, we only have one weakness.
What's that, Rat Fink?
Bullets.
I mean, it's perfect. In fact, my old friend Mike and I will reference that to this day, only because we saw that sequence talked about in the Incredibly Strange Film Show episode about Ray Dennis Steckler. We still comment on that and talk about that. But maybe I need to figure out a way to get my hands on that box set to learn a little bit more, because now I'm curious. He's a guerrilla filmmaker. I'm not going to say he's a regional filmmaker because he did shoot in Hollywood, so he did have kind of sort of access to some facilities and maybe people. Well, clearly he had Cossacks, right? But he's also shooting in an old Masonic temple that was owned by Rock Hudson. So,
and wasn't it Arch Hall Sr. was the one who initially released this movie?
Right, yeah, it came out courtesy of what was his production at Fairway?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And both him and Marge, the dancer, were in EGA.
Yeah?
EGA threw him around at one point. So, yeah, he had connections. He knew people.
Right.
Again, in a very Coleman Francis, this is my level of people that I know kind of way.
And I don't know at what point he ended up in Vegas. I know Vegas kind of became where he was working towards the end of his career and life. And he shot a lot of stuff on video at that point, which makes I can't imagine something like this shot on video. It would make me feel even worse, almost. It would feel snuffy, almost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But like I said, overall, I thought it was a pleasant experience. I enjoyed watching it. I don't know why.
For me, this is one of those movies, it's like the Wild Wild World of Batwoman. I have no idea what is wrong with me that I love this movie. I just don't know why I like this movie. Objectively, there's nothing to like about this movie. I don't get it. I just love it.
I can sit down and I can look at Manos, and I shared this with Jackie, actually, with Jackie Naaman Jones, that even though I know this is not how films work, every time I watch Manos, I'm rooting for them to make a good movie. I'm rooting for them to succeed in what they're trying to do. And I know that's not how movies work. When we get a chance to see the movie, it's already done. It's set in stone. And unless you're George Lucas, that's it. But every time I watch Manos, I just keep thinking, oh, they're going to pull it off this time. Oh, they're going to pull it off this time. This is going to be great. And I guess I have a little bit of enjoyment. I get a little bit of jazz off of that. I don't know if that's what's happening with this one. I don't think it is. I don't know.
I think on some level, it's, again, with the Giallo, where we're sitting and we're watching this and being all like, somebody actually went there. Somebody actually did this. You know? Someone's brain went in this weird way that, like, maybe I'm afraid to let my brain go in. And there's kind of a bravery in that. Like a little bit of Ed Wood.
Yeah.
Like, you actually did it. You actually did it, honey. And it's crazy and it's hard to watch sometimes, but you did it. Good job.
Yeah. I was looking at some plot synopsi, whatever, of other Steckler movies, and a lot of them seem to revolve around there's somebody killing people. Hey, there's somebody else killing people. Hey, here's somebody killing a bunch of people. I don't know. I mean, this movie would have just been that without the zombie element anyway. One thing that I got accused of back when I thought I'd be a filmmaker when I grew up is that all of my attempts to make movies were the result of me treating blood as a punchline. Because really, I was, hey, I'm killing people because I can do special effects. Yay. I'd like to think I had more going for me than that. But I mean, in retrospect, really, I put more thought into my effect sequences and the stories. And I wonder if Steckler just had some things he was trying to work out, man. You know, there's a movie about me as the lead character killing a bunch of women. Whatever.
I mean, one of the recurring jokes in the Mystery Science Theater episode is maybe somebody has some issues with women, which I think is valid. I do think that's valid in this movie. Mm-hmm. But also, just from a purely pragmatic point of view, having a normal person running around killing people is the cheap way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, what would come in the 70s, you know, proto-slashers? So he was a little bit ahead of the curve on that one, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're right. Set this in the 80s and it's a slasher flick, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
How many sideshows have you gone to? And there's been a burlesque show. I've never seen this. I've never experienced. Now, granted, I've not gone to a lot of sideshows and carnivals and that sort of thing. I mean, things would come to town when I grew up in Cheyenne, Wyoming, but that was like Frontier Days stuff. So it's not like they had a traveling burlesque show with that. But I always felt like that was a little out of place.
No, I think it was definitely out of place.
Okay.
Although, because the other thing is, I mean, okay. I don't mean to offend anybody, but they are in California, and California like has different concepts of like showbiz stuff.
Yeah.
Because I know, like in Oregon, that wouldn't have flown. In Colorado, yeah, you were saying in Wyoming and Colorado, no. You can't have women out there doing that. That ain't right. But also, because I feel like back then, that was something that was supposed to be a little more hidden. And because that was one of the things that was revolutionary about Betty Page. Because Betty Page is like, I'm doing it. And everybody can see it. Whereas before it was just sort of like, oh, we're having a bachelor party and we're hiring somebody. Whereas nowadays for us, it is a respected profession that we admit takes training. So these dancers actually require like money and theaters to stage in. And no good dancer is going to just like pitch up a tent and go to town. That's not, you don't do that. You don't work that hard learning your craft to dance across from a skee ball booth. You know?
Yeah. I did like the Barker's line though. 20 girls, 10 costumes. That was great.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, that was clever. So every once in a while they stumble into a clever line delivery or a little clever bit of dialogue. And there's also one where at the very beginning of the movie, and I can't remember the exact line. I should have written it down. Maybe I'll go back and try to find it and drop it in here in post. But where is it Madison? Madison suggests to Jerry that he should go to college, and his response to that.
How's college? It's fine. You should try it sometime.
No, thanks. The world's my college.
I really liked that little moment, too. Why Jerry's hanging out on the top of his car waiting for his girlfriend to come out, I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
See, the one I loved is at the very beginning, Jerry and all them, they're talking to Estrella, and they're having their fortune read.
Well, now that you read her fortune, why don't you tell me mine?
There is nothing I can tell you.
Why can't you read mine?
There are some who cannot be read. Their life is but a shadow in a crystal. You are such a person.
Come on now, tell me mine, will you?
I cannot tell you anything else now.
I think you've clouded up her crystal ball.
Clouds affect only the cloudy, never the image.
And I'm like, snap, that's metaphysical speak for you're a freaking loser.
Yeah.
That's like the fanciest metaphysical put down ever.
So every once in a while they stumble into something.
Yeah.
And again, it's the accident, right?
It is the accident, yeah.
But it was no accident that we watched this. I mean, you picked it. This is your fault.
Yeah, I will gladly take the blame for it. If this is the worst thing I do today, we are golden.
Well, it's not the creeping terror, so you know.
No, it is not the creeping terror. And don't talk smack about my son again.
I love all those. I love them all. I will always find something to love about these movies, even the creeping terror. And like I said, there's things to love about this, even if it's something that they didn't mean to do. Once a piece of art is released into the world, unless you're George Lucas, that art can be different things for different people, right?
Absolutely.
And this one does kind of strike a certain chord. I would gladly have an action figure of the zombies from this thing. Because I do like the way they look. I know they're just over the head masks that they probably bought at the store somewhere and painted a little differently. I don't care. I like them a lot. The one makeup that I thought was a little off-putting was probably Ortega. There's just something about that didn't look right to me. Not sure why.
Yeah. No, it looked pretty cheap. But again, it was like still kind of worked. Just the fact that it was so bad made it work a little more.
Right.
So
the world in which this entire movie takes place is definitely low budget. So to have some low budget makeup effects or whatever totally makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is that the people who played the zombies, they were really into it. You could tell. And it was cute. They were really enjoying themselves.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what you want, right? And the enthusiasm, man. Hey, you want to be a monster in my monster movie? Yes, I do, sir. Yeah.
Sign me up.
When and where and I'm there. Yeah, for sure. You can tell they were totally into it, for sure.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to mention about the movie before we wrap up here?
No, I think I did. I mean, learn how to strip if you're going to do a strip tease. That's all I'm saying. I think I'm good after that.
So your biggest takeaway, listener, is learn how to strip. And I don't know. I got nothing. This was fun, though. And it's been so good to catch up with you. It has been forever. You left town, then I left town, then you came back to town, and I'm still down here in Arizona. You're kicking it up in Portland now. You and Jeff knocked it out of the park for the Spookorama episode. Scarathon, the Joy Cinema episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all, I mean, the chemistry you two had, and I know, like, you guys don't have, like, you don't know Jeff as long as, like, say, you've known me and vice versa and all that. But the way you two kind of went back and forth, man, I want to send you two to cover movies, like, all the time now.
That was completely on the fly.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know I was going to be there. I was waiting in line to get in. And then he turned around and he saw me and we're like, oh. And then, like, after the Ghost of Mr. Chicken, he just had his phone out and was recording. And I'm like, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah, it was great. And I appreciate y'all doing that. It knocked it out of the park. It was the next best thing to me being there in person as well. I miss the Joy Cinema so much. And just knowing that y'all were there having a good time and covering it for us here on the show, huge thank you to you. And yeah, we should get you and Jeff to do some more stuff together if you'd be game and if he'd be game. I'm down for it. And we'll have you back on the show just in general too.
Yeah.
Find some more awesome movies like The Creeping Terror and The Incredibly Strange Creatures Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies.
Well, okay, because we were talking about Let's Scare Jessica to Death. Do a legit good movie.
Ooh, okay.
Because, yeah, that one is a legit good movie. And if you talk smack about this movie, like, it's on. Because that one is a legit good movie.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I don't think you've seen it. We had this discussion. I don't think you've seen it. And you should see it. And you should watch Carnival of Souls right afterwards because they're the best Nightmare Logic double feature ever.
Carnival of Souls is such an amazing film. You and I can, even if we have a disagreement about any other movie, we can rebond over Carnival of Souls. But I don't think we're disagreeing about this one. I stand by my original review, which is like 15 years ago at this point, at least, of 3 headshots out of 5. Check it out. And check out The House of Silent Graves, which is a Facebook page right now, correct?
Correct.
What is The House of Silent Graves?
The House of Silent Graves is a place where you can adopt monsters that I make. I recreate old monsters from old sci-fi and horror movies like Beulah, the Venusian Pickle, and the Creeping Terror. And I'm about to have baby Creeping Terrors. I'm making baby Creeping Terrors too.
Wow.
If you look on my Facebook page, there's Eugenia, my daughter. She's a baby Creeping Terror, and she actually went and did tourist stuff in Boston with me a couple months ago before I left town. I make Tinglers. I make Crawling Eyes. I just did Button Face from Nightbreed as a ragdoll, which actually turned out really cool.
Nope. No. I can't. Nope. That actor can't do it.
That actor, you mean that director?
Well, he's the actor in the film. I can't. I just don't even want to. David Cronenberg messes with me so bad.
Yeah, he was too good in that movie.
I've had recurring nightmares about the man.
Yeah. I will be at the Hollywood Theater for the Holiday Horrors that the Portland Horror Film Festival is showing on December 13th. Nice. So you can look me up there. I don't know. I will at least be there. I don't know what else is going on besides that at this point. I'll put it on the Facebook page when I know something for sure. So yeah, that's it. Kicking around Portland, making plans. I intend to have a website soon. It's kind of an issue at this point of getting the money together to do that. So
I totally understand. It costs money to have a web presence. You know, our Team Death website and our big cartel page for our shirts and all that. You know, it does cost money, so I get it. So listeners, this episode will be going out after Black Friday, but the very early morning of Cyber Monday. Support your favorite independent creators. You know, it really helps them out. But just getting a website going, reach out to Dominique because I've got a handful of her creations here. Wednesday has a Tingler. I have a full-size Tingler. They're in storage right now, but they're awesome. They're so cool. I love the Tinglers. And just everything else that she does is amazing. And I really want to see more monster kids doing more cool stuff like that. So I will make sure there's a link in the show notes to House of Silent Graves on Facebook, which is a place to love, honor, and celebrate the monsters that don't get their due.
And hug your monsters.
Hug your monsters.
I'm calling on all the spirits of everyone who's ever died in this house.
Paramount Pictures presents Let's Scare Jessica to Death.
Jessica. Who are you? Why have you been following me?
I'm in your blood. You want to die. Go on. You want to die.
Let's Scare Jessica to Death. The screen has captured cold, deadly horror before, but this time it's all turned loose in your direction.
Leave me!
Wait, you be quiet! I hear you! Let's Scare Jessica to Death. Rated GP.
Almost immediately after we got done recording, Dominique reached out to me and said, hey, the holiday horror thing is not happening at the Hollywood Theater. It's happening at the Clinton Street Theater. And yeah, she's right. I went and checked. It is at the Clinton Street Theater. It's happening on December 13th at 6 p.m. Tickets are $15. You're going to see holiday-themed horror short films from around the world and a little bit of burlesque. So keep that burlesque thing going that you got from Another Big Breath. The incredibly strange creatures that stopped living and became mixed up zombies. So go check that out and say hey to Dominique for me, huh? Let her know that you heard about it here, heard about her here on Bride of Monster Kid Radio. We are at the end of the show here at this point, and I want to thank her for being part of the show. I want to thank Mark for being part of the show, and I want to thank you for downloading and listening and streaming and checking out the show and hopefully sharing the show with your friends. Wherever you happen to hang out online, please reshare, post, retweet, re-X, whatever it is you do. Just let people know about what we're doing over here at Bride of Monster Kid Radio, because the more, the merrier. When I reach out to people online looking for guests to be on the show, I have been pleasantly surprised that some people that I've never interacted with before are responding to me. And it's because people like you, yes, you, the one listening to me right now, have been sharing posts about the show, and they find out about the show because of you. So thank you for doing that. Please continue doing that as we release new episodes here on the show. You can always send them to our website, which is monsterkidradio.net. And yes, I know it needs a little bit of a refresh, but that's where you're going to find everything that you need to know about the podcast. We have links to all of our social medias. You have our contact information over there as well. You can always email me at monsterkidradio@gmail.com, or you can call and leave us a voicemail at 360-524-2484. Now, I do have some feedback that I just am not able to get to this week that I'm going to go ahead and share in future episodes. I do work for the Lego Group, like I mentioned earlier with Dominique, and you can imagine that Black Friday and this upcoming Cyber Monday are pretty busy times for a toy company. So I just don't have the extra time to finesse the feedback and put that together for this week's episode. But in the future, maybe we'll have some feedback. And I'd love to add your feedback to the mix. If you have thoughts about the movie we talked about this week, or anything we've talked about in the previous 52 episodes, or any of the episodes of Monster Kid Radio, or heck, let's go all the way back to Mail Order Zombie. If you have anything you want to talk about, know of any events that are coming up that Monster Kids might be interested in, call it in, write it in, and I'll share it with everybody here on the show. I did mention Cyber Monday. Now, I know that a lot of you shop online, and I did say earlier, definitely support the independent creators out there. And I think that's really important to do. And I would love for you to do that. Not just my stuff, not just the stuff over at teamdeath.com and our shirts, our t-shirts, our button-up shirts, our Hawaiian-style shirts. And there's even a woman's Hawaiian-style shirt available now. And it is on sale right now because of Cyber Monday. Instead of $40, we're doing the button-up shirts for $30, free shipping here in the U.S. If you happen to live somewhere other than the U.S. and you want one of the shirts, reach out to me at monsterkidradio@gmail.com, and I will figure out how to get the shirt to you with the cheapest shipping option possible. I mean, support us, support people like Dominique, but if you're going to go to the big stores, if you're going to go to Amazon, please consider using the Amazon affiliate button over at monsterkidradio.net, because every time you click on that button first and then do your shopping, what happens is we get just a little bit off the top. It doesn't cost you anything extra. We just get a little bit that helps to keep the light on. The light? There's more than one. To keep all the lights on here at Bride of Monster Kid Radio and Team Death Central. So please consider using that button over on our website. It's not that difficult to find. It's right there. It's the Amazon button. It looks like Frankenstein's monster with a big Amazon A on it. Bam, hit on that, go to Amazon, fill your cart, check out, you're good. Do not fill the cart first and then click the button. It's got to be the other way around, but still, anything that you can do to help us out, we appreciate. Now, over on Patreon, patreon.com/monsterkidradio, this is where we announce what the next episode is going to be about. Later on in the week, I'll be doing a blast on all of our various social media channels with the show notes, just to kind of let people know that we're out there and we're still doing the thing, and the podcast has got a new episode out. But over on Patreon, this is the only place where we announce what the next week's episode is going to be about. And in order for you to find out what that is, you have to join us over on Patreon. You can do it for free. I know Patreon is pay your favorite creator kind of thing, but you can sign up for our Patreon as a free member and you'll get access to that information. Of course, if you want to be a paid member, that helps us out quite a bit as well. So patreon.com/monsterkidradio, that's where you're going to want to go. Bride of Monster Kid Radio is a Team Death production. All original content of Bride of Monster Kid Radio is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 4.0 Unported license. You can learn more about Team Death, our other projects like Death Designs, Mail Order Zombie, the Team Death YouTube channel, and more at www.teamdeath.com. Remember, death is spelled D-E-T-H. All previous episodes of this podcast, as well as the original Monster Kid Radio podcast, are available at www.monsterkidradio.net. Please rate and review Bride of Monster Kid Radio wherever you download your favorite podcasts. Land of the Great Ghoul is copyright 2025, The Aqua Barons. It's from their brand new album, and I mean literally brand new. It just came out on November 27th, so just a couple of days ago. The album is called Back on Track with The Aqua Barons. You can find them at theaquabarons.bandcamp.com. They're awesome. Check them out. Let them know that you heard about them here on Bride of Monster Kid Radio. My name's Derek M. Cook. I'll talk to everybody next week. Ciao.